just like any traveling preacher. Had a couple messages that he would give, and he'd travel from place to place, and different crowds would come to hear him preach, and he would often preach the same basic thing. Now, perhaps as we heard the beginning of the gospel reading, you thought, oh, this is familiar. Well, of course it is. Because in the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus preaches his Sermon on the Mount with all of those blessed are's or blessed bees. Now, perhaps you're remembering another iteration of it when Jesus gathered with the crowd and explained, blessed are the cheesemakers. Some of you have paid attention to Monty Python's Life of Bryant. Those of you who have not heard about the cheesemakers, there's a movie that you need to see. But today, we find not the Sermon on the Mount, not the sermon according to Monty Python, but the Sermon on the Plain. Very similar. As Jesus lays out a whole list of people who are blessed. Those who hunger and thirst. The poor. It's not spiritualized in quite the same way that Matthew does when he says, blessed are the poor in spirit. Just, blessed are the poor. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst. Not after righteousness. Just those who hunger and thirst. It's a statement of blessing that seems backwards. How could the hungry and the thirsty be blessed? I mean, what kind of blessing is that? How can the poor be blessed? Certainly it's the rich who are blessed, right? That's what we see on the face of things. But that's not what Jesus says. Jesus points out the blessings for all of the people who go through hard times, for all of those who suffer, for all of those who can't make ends meet, for all of those who face injustice. And then Jesus does something that makes our 21st century American selves kind of cringe a little bit. When he really goes off script. Because he turns from blessed are you when and starts laying out, but woe to you who are full. Woe to you who are rich. Woe to you who have enough. Woe to you when people speak well of you. Wow. I don't know about you, but I kind of prefer it when people speak well about me. I kind of prefer it when I can put food on the table. If given a choice, all of those things that Jesus says, woe to you when, are the ways I would rather be. But Jesus gives us stark contrast. Blessings. And not curses so much, but an observation. If you've got enough, you can't expect any more. You can't expect God's grace to reach in extra for you. Ouch. As a 21st century American, let me say that again. Ouch. I would rather be blessed, but I'd rather not do that. I would rather be blessed, but I would rather not have people say bad things about me. I expect you're the same way. But there's something at play here. There's a deeper meaning when we dig down into the text. When we find this the split in how God operates between those who are needy and those who have too much. What do we do with it? Well, the prophets, down through the eons, have told God's people what to do. To take that too much that we have and turn it and use it for good. In that, there is blessing. Jeremiah gave us a similar image, talking about those who are like shrubs in the desert, those that have sprung up in the salty earth, those that aren't going to make a run for very long, but darn it, when the rain comes, they look like they've got everything together. When the blooms start to pop. So often we want to be like that. But then he says, blessed are the ones who are faithful. Blessed are the ones who trust in God, for they are like trees planted by the water. And in that planting by the water, there's life. Because when the dry season hits, they'll be fine. Because their roots go deep. Because they're nourished by the streams of water that flow continuously. Today, as we've celebrated Aubrey's baptism, we find that she is planted by the water. That as she takes her very first steps in faith today, with the help of a little bit of water, that she's connected with a deeper grace. A water that will flow through her life. A water that will see her through hard times, through drought, and through salty tears. Those of us who have known the gift of baptism know the gift of being planted by water. Water that a pastor placed on our heads. Water that we got dumped beneath. Water that carries us through those dry spells. That connects us with holy wisdom. Now I know that all of you are really hoping for a long sermon today. Okay, I'm wrong. So let me close with a blessing. A blessing for Aubrey and for all of us. May the water from the river of God, which carries life, touch your roots. May it carry you through the dry times. May it be that which nourishes you and nurtures you and raises you up. For you, children of God, are planted by water and sustained by that same river that flows no matter what the weather is doing. The river of God's grace. May you be blessed, especially you, Aubrey, but all of us as well. Amen.
Amen.